looking at more recent times, okay, some of the events that have been driving demand. So you've had the Bitcoin cash fork, okay? Also counterintuitive, you would have thought that a split in Bitcoin would have meant that the price would have gone down. It actually went up, okay? But that was because the people who had Bitcoin were awarded Bitcoin Cash as part of that process. And they knew that. They knew that there was going to be this award of Bitcoin Cash. So why not buy more Bitcoin, because you're going to get free money on the other side. And it was pointed out to me recently by one of the MBA students that I had in one of these classes, that even on the exchanges like Luno, they had a birthday present that you could cash in your Bitcoin Cash. China bans ICOs. Okay, obviously we saw a fall in Bitcoin's price. Jamie Dimon, he's number 68 over there. You saw a distinct decrease in terms of the price there. So what are we seeing so far? We're seeing technology. Okay, we're seeing regulation. We're seeing media, okay, as some of the drivers. Bitcoin futures announced, okay? So a new market is opening up for Bitcoin. All of a sudden, there's this huge interest in Bitcoin, and that caused that increase in price over there. SegWit 2 was then cancelled. SegWit is segregated witness. It was basically it was technology that was added into Bitcoin, and it was meant to speed up the transaction of Bitcoin. But that was cancelled, and that caused the price to go down. So once again, a technology driver of price. The Chicago futures market opened up as number 75 over there, and then we saw the South Korea regulation come in. The threat of regulation in South Korea was enough to drive the price down. And I believe that there was also some insider trading happening at the same time within in South Korea. Okay, so if we have a look at this as a scorecard, okay, and we have a look at whether we think that Bitcoin has, or Bitcoin 1.0, has achieved what it set out to do, okay? Become a medium of exchange for the internet, okay? I think it pretty much has fulfilled that. Although I must say that I recently paid for my Blockchain Africa conference with Bitcoin, and the transaction failed. Okay, so I wasn't able to basically use that. It was easier to use my credit card. Decentralization. Okay, decentralization of the authentication of transactions. This is where I think that Bitcoin has done really well. However, recent movements have put this a little bit at risk, because we have seen a bit of a centralization. There's been a centralization in terms of mining pools, for example. In 2014, for a 12-hour period, there were one mining pool had in excess of 51% of the transacting power that is required to authenticate transactions. That meant that they could have basically rewritten the blockchain. They didn't, fortunately enough. There were no changes over that 12-hour period. But the fact of the matter is that you could actually gather enough CPU power in order to carry that out. Anonymity, yeah, I think to a certain degree they have ticked that box, because certainly you're looking at the transactions that have taken place are all taking place on a number. It is your you have a public number, and you have a private key, and that public key is for everyone to see though. Okay, so everyone can see every single transaction that has been transacted against your public key, but they don't know that it is you. So it's anonymity versus transparency. So you've got the transparency there. In terms of separation from the bank and state, Okay, I think that they've probably ticked those boxes, although with the amount of regulation that is coming in, that is certainly also under threat. But I don't personally feel that you can take Bitcoin away.